right, folks, I used to sell human beings for a living.
Really?
Anybody guess what it was?
Human trafficking.
No, not even close. Anybody else?
Adoption agents?
The corpse?
No.
The cadavers?
Cadavers, no, that would be interesting. I would last about 10 minutes in that job. Anybody else? Huh? Organs? No, not parts of humans, and not dead humans. Anybody else got a guess? Nope. No, not even.
Is it healthcare?
No.
I'm not gonna get
I was a political campaign manager.
Oh.
So my products were really dumb humans. No, I had some really good people I worked for. So, good morning. So, I really never planned to work in politics, but I had a buddy. I was 26 years old in 1989, so you can do the math on that if you want. And I had a buddy that worked in politics, and he knew I was avidly involved with volunteering and helping out with campaigns. And he called me up and he said, there's this guy running for office, doesn't have a chance in hell. He's running against two 20-year incumbents, he has no money, he can't pay you. Sounds like fun? For six months of your life? I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. No clue what I was doing, absolutely no. We weren't supposed to win, so election night comes, and we win. We actually slaughtered the two incumbents. So the next thing I know, I'm the whiz kid. I'm a Democrat in the Democratic Party. That night, I'm getting calls from the Democratic National Committee asking me to go start running and trying to save other campaigns that are gonna be in trouble. And still not a clue what I'm doing. I mean, not a clue. So they flew me out to California, I ran a mayoral race out there, was in trouble, we won. And then the next year, I was back in New Jersey, and I was working for a state senator. So this state senator had a couple of issues. The first was that he was drunk pretty much from 9 a.m. until midnight. And the second was I couldn't keep track of his girlfriends, and neither could his wife. So we had a lot to manage and deal with, but he was been in political office for a very long time. But he was in trouble. He was way down in the polls. And so it was quite the job to try to keep up with this guy and manage his campaign and make him a viable product. So we're about a month before Election Day, and the biggest debate of the campaign is coming up, right? Hour before the debate, I can't find my candidate anywhere. I mean, nowhere. None of the girlfriends. I can't call the wife and ask, because it might be the girlfriends. Can't find him anywhere. 30 minutes before the debate, I'm really starting to sweat it. There's a room full of press, hundreds of people to watch. Everybody's waiting to see this debate. He's running against two other guys. 10 minutes before, the coordinator of the debate comes up and says, you got two choices. Get up on stage for him, or have an empty seat. And he said, I don't think you want the empty seat. And I said, I don't think I want to be up on stage. Not prepared anything except for what I had done to prepare him. But I got up and spoke, did the introductory speech of 3 to 5 minutes, debated the other candidates. Everything seemed to go okay. I got over my nerves, but I was terrified before I got up there. I mean, I was sweating, my palms were clammy, I was just terrified. And I get up on stage and the lights are down on me, and I'm looking out at this crowd and just going, oh my God, what am I doing? This is just stupid. And I had some speaking experience. I've been a debater in high school, so I traveled around the nation in the national circuit debating, but that was with, two opponents and 2 judges in the room, not lights, press, and hundreds of people. And I'd done some speaking, but I'd done pretty well in one, so I at least knew how to deliver a speech. So, end of the debate comes up, and the 2 opponents come up to me and say, one of them says, you know what, we're really glad we're not running against you. And I said, wow, he said, yeah, that's the most articulate that this candidate has ever been, and he probably shouldn't be out on the circuit. I don't tell you that to tell you that I'm somehow great. What made me realize that day was that I was prepared. I was the guy that knew everything about every issue. I was the guy preparing the candidate every day to discuss topics and issues. I had a little bit of speaking ability, but I was completely terrified when I got up on stage. But once the debate started flowing and the topics started coming at me, and I knew what I was talking about, I felt a lot more comfortable, and I was able to do a good job. That was a lesson for me for the rest of my life, that being prepared, knowing my audience, I knew who the voters were, I knew what they wanted to hear, and I knew how to communicate to them. And understanding what I wanted to say and get across was all it took for me to get over being terrified of getting up on that stage. So, the other point of this story is that I would say about 75% of the candidates I worked for in the 9-10 years I worked were horrendous speakers. Probably the only exceptional speaker I worked for was Bill Clinton. Everyone else was a total mess. And these people make a living making speeches. So if those people can do it, you all can do it. And if those people can get over their fear and I can get over my fear, you all can as well. All right? So this slide is left intentionally blank. We're going to talk in a minute about slides and presentation building. All right? But the reason this slide is left blank is I want you to pay attention to what's not on the slides, right? One of the keys to being a good presenter is making sure people are paying attention to you. And we're going to talk about ways to keep people's attention. Well, one of the things to do is to understand that there will be important topics that I bring up during the course of this presentation that won't be on slides. So, if any of you noticed, I work in cryptocurrency. If any of you, how many people here are on cryptocurrency? It's about the right percentage, every room. So, in order to get you guys involved in cryptocurrency, because I know you're just dying to find out about it, everyone that sends me an email at the end of this presentation or within the next couple of days with 3 things that were not specifically on slides that I taught you today, I will send you 100 Dogecoin. Anybody ever heard of Dogecoin? Yeah. So it was created as a joke, but it now has a market cap of $244 million. And it is a cryptocurrency. So I'll send you each 100 Dogecoin. They are not worth $245 million each. All right? So the idea here is just pay attention. So here's what we're going to cover real quick. We're going to cover how to overcome fear, and we pretty much covered it in my intro there. We're going to cover how to grab people's attention, how to keep their attention, how to create content, but not just any content, content that is persuasive, content that triggers people to take action. What's the point of doing a presentation if you don't want people to take an action, right? The entire idea of standing up in front of a room full of people and making them do something they don't want to do is because you want something to occur. Presentation fundamentals, I am not going to tell you to picture everyone in the room naked. I am not going to tell you not to put your hands in your pockets, and I'm sure as I'm not going to tell you not to pace around the room, because that would be a bad example set by me. I don't care about how you pace, look, hold your hands, or speak in most cases. What I care about is that you're comfortable with your material, you know your audience, and you have a goal for that audience. Then what you do physically is not going to matter. And then I'm going to do a little bit of corporate politics Jedi just from my years of painful experience. So this is the thing that gets everybody, right? The irony of it is that we're so terrified when we might have been able to give a good presentation, we screwed up because we let our terror and our fear overwhelm us. And it actually causes us to not accomplish our goals of a presentation or a speech that we're trying to give, right? So I'm just going to reiterate what I talked about twice now, is if you know your stuff, if you believe in what you want to accomplish with it, if you have a goal, what you want to accomplish with it, and you know your audience and their motivations, their selfish motivations, and how to make them take action, then you'll be able to overcome your fear. You will still be scared, your palms will still sweat, you may still have your voice crack. All of those things will still occur. But once you're up there and feeling confident about what you're delivering, you will get over some of that fear. I also highly recommend meditation. Sounds a little hokey, but I do it every morning. And the reason I do it is because I, like every other human being, has a mind that runs away with itself. And in this room today, in the short time I've been speaking, every one of you has your mind run away with yourself. Thinking about something, analyzing something, worrying about something later tonight, getting your kids out of bed, did they get to school on time, whatever it is, you've had something that has made your mind go up. Meditation helps you slow your mind, and even just meditating before you're going to give a presentation will actually help you relax and feel more confident about what you're going to do. All right? It'll slow your mind down a little bit. So, somebody tell me what they picture in their head when they think of a Fortune 500 CEO. Anybody? Yeah? Somebody with confidence? What do they look like?
That's stereotyping about a suit, right?
Yeah, suit? Huh?
Polished.
Polished. Do you think that typically a Fortune 500 CEO is going to be pretty conservative?
Usually.
Yeah, for the most part. Anything else? Anybody else have thoughts on it? I'm going to show you the beginning of a speech by a Fortune 500 CEO, and I'd like you guys to tell me what you think about what he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer! Who sets him? I have 4 words for you. I love this company. Yes!
So besides wanting to run up on stage with a defibrillator, what else do you guys think about? Anybody have thoughts? Yeah.
He definitely tried to engage his audience by grabbing their attention.
Yep, absolutely. Anybody else have thoughts?
He seems to be really confident on himself and what he does.
Yeah.
I was gonna say passionate.
Passionate. So of all these 3 things are true, why? Why is he acting like that?
Because he can.
Yeah, because he can, but because he has to in this case. Okay? So Microsoft CEO, in the middle of a complete downturn for Microsoft. Everyone's adopting up open source technologies. All the developer community is moving to open source technologies, internet technologies that Microsoft doesn't have. That is a room full of their developer network and their employees, right? He has to motivate that group because every developer he loses is money from the bottom line because developers drive sales and licenses of servers and desktop applications. So he is desperate to get that group excited. It's a room full of geeks. He's a software engineer. He knows his audience. He knows what they want. He knows what they want to hear, and he knows he can act like a total dork, and it's okay, because they all feel a kinship with him, right? So he has a goal, he knows his audience, and he knows his material, and he knows what he has to accomplish with this speech, and that is keeping people excited, using his products, and getting excited about what's coming next. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions there? No? All right. Aren't you glad I didn't do that? The interesting thing about public speaking, especially in a corporate environment, is typically the room of people that you are speaking to or pitching to, if you're not in sales speaking to a potential customer, are people you just had lunch with and spoke to for 45 minutes straight. And you didn't feel a single bit of nerves. You weren't scared in the least, right? These presentations are just conversations. They're things that you want to convince other people to do. You want to convince other people to go to happy hour. You want to convince other people to join your team. You want to convince other people to do other things that you talk about one-on-one or in a group at lunch every single day. But suddenly when we stand up in front of people, we're terrified and we screw up, right? One of the things I try to keep in mind always is that I'm just having a conversation, right? This is an entire new group of people for me. When I walked up here to start, I was nervous, right? I could feel the adrenaline starting to pump in me. I've done this seminar, God knows, 50 times at FIU. But I'm still a little bit nervous when it starts. But I know what I'm talking about, I know what I want you all to get out of it, and I know that I can just have a conversation with you. That's one of the things I try to tell people to keep in mind. When I'm training a CEO who's scared to speak to a big group of people that he knows that it worked for him, you know, I try to tell him to remind himself all the way through, these are people I know, or this is just a conversation. I believe in what I'm talking about, and I know what I have for these people is important, okay? So, let's talk about what's important a little more. What is your goal? So I talked about this briefly. If you're standing up in front of a room full of people, and you're doing a presentation, and you're not trying to persuade them of something, you are wasting everyone's time. Everyone. You've sucked people out of productivity to stand up in front of a room and tell them something with no goal in mind. What's the point? Now, what I commonly hear is, well, yeah, but I have to do the monthly, you know, widget profit margin report, and, you know, we've always done it the same way, and I just have to stand up and say, you know, sales are up 5%, down 10%. Well, that's your choice to do that. It may be required by your boss, but why can't you turn it into something to persuade people, right? Look, if you're taking the initiative and you're the guy that has to, or the woman that has to do the boring speech, what's in those numbers that you're reporting on? What can you find that the company can do to improve upon? If things are down, why? Don't just throw the numbers out there. Take the opportunity to say, I found a problem. We need to examine this more, or we need to do A, B, and C, and D. Or I'm gonna talk to A, B, C, and D team members, find out what's wrong, and then in the next meeting, we're gonna try to change that. The numbers are up, why? You know, the Wisconsin branch is doing something really cool. Find a reason to get those people in that room to take an action. Otherwise, you're just wasting our time. So before you start writing a deck, before you start a presentation, determine your goal. Why are you dragging 5, 10, 150 people into a room if you don't have a goal for them? What do you want them to do when you're done? And then when you're done, don't forget to ask them to take action. Set deadlines. One of the biggest problems in every meeting that happens in corporate America, or most meetings that happen in corporate America, is everyone gets together, complains, collaborates, brainstorms, says this is the solution, or this is where we should go, and then nobody does a damn thing, because nobody's accountable, right? Your job as the presenter, as the authority, as the expert in the room, no matter the topic, is to make sure that there is an action to be taken at the end of your meeting. And if it's resigning, well, I'm doing my best. I'm just kidding. So we talked a little bit about what everybody does for a living earlier. Throw me out some titles again. What's your title? You have a job right now? No? What was your title? What would be your title?
I used to be case manager.
Okay. How about you? Are you working right now? Okay. What do you want to do? A nurse? Okay. Anybody else want to give me a job title?
Network provider or representative.
Okay.
Sales representative.
Sales representative?
I own a pharmacy.
Doctor?
Pharmacy technician.
Pharmacy tech.
Okay. Those are your titles, but this is what you guys do every day, all day long. None of us wants to be a salesman unless we are salesmen, and some of us don't want to be salesmen when we are salesmen. The fact is you sell all day long. And you need to get over the idea that you do not sell or market. Marketing and sales is sleazy, I don't do that. You know, I talk to developers all day, every day. People that run open source cryptocurrency projects. They all think we marketers and salespeople are sleazy, right? We're manipulative. We're persuading people. People should just love what I have. Guess what? Those people are selling and marketing all day long. They are convincing their children to get out of bed in the morning, convincing their children to brush their teeth, convincing their wife to go to dinner at A, B, C, and D, trying to get their coworkers to actually pursue a particular strategy. You are selling all day long. Get over it. You are a salesperson. It is the biggest part of your life interacting with other human beings. You have a motivation. You want people to do something. You are manipulating. You are persuading. And you are selling. And as soon as you accept that, then getting up in front of a room full of people and selling them an idea is a much easier thing. Just go through your day tomorrow, or when you get home, and think about how many times you're persuading people to do something. It'll blow you away. And then you'll realize that this stuff isn't too hard. If you don't remember anything I say today, and you take nothing out of it, the origin of everything is about this next slide. It's all about me. You are unimportant. I don't care about you. Really. You don't care about me. The only thing that matters is the people in the room and their motivations. We are all selfish. We do nice things for other people because it makes us feel good. We love and adore and have fun with our children because it makes us feel good. Those are the realities. And the sooner you accept the fact that everyone in the room you're trying to get and persuade to do something is in it for themselves, the sooner you will be great at persuading people to do something. You have to understand what every person in the room's motivation is. What do they care about? What will make them happy? What will make their ego soar? It is never about you. If your presentation is talking about what you accomplished and what you've done and what you found, you have lost everyone in the room. It is always about me as your audience. Always. Everything I talk about today, your goals, motivating your audience, understanding who they are, how you present content, how you persuade people, it is all related to thinking about every person in the room doesn't care about you. They do not. They may like you, they may like drinking with you, but they really don't care. What they care about is their own lives and how you, wasting their time in this conference room, are going to make their life better. And your presentation needs to focus on how you are going to make their lives better. Anybody agree with that, disagree with that?
Agree.
Agree? All right. All right, so here's a guy that gets that. At the end of this video, I want you to tell me how he makes you feel.
You see a business card? Cheap. Strathmore stock. 60 pound. Holds a crease. Can you tear it? Absolutely. Looks like crap? It is crap. The same size of every other business card in my hand that you guys just gave me. These aren't even your cards. That card looks like crap too. One color. Nothing special about it. Let me see, what's it say on it? Name of the company in Atlanta. It's an agency. This guy's a CSO, Chief Strategic Officer. Wow, I'm impressed. So what? He's an officer. I know companies that are worth $10,000 a year, and the guy's a CEO. I will never make a criticism if I don't have a resolution. You see that card? This is the most impressive business card I've ever seen. It's mine. It took me 25 years to design it. This card is expensive. About $4 a card because of the stock. It doesn't fit in a Rolodex because it doesn't belong in a Rolodex. It's the kind of thing where your card should be so good that even if they don't like you, they won't throw it out because it demonstrates incredible marketing capability. Life is not about being liked, it's about being effective. My card is die cut. My card is foil stamped. My card is embossed. Crowds guaranteed. My card, instead of telling you that I'm a CEO, because who cares about my title, tells you about the result I generate. I build crowds. Guaranteed. What do you do, guaranteed?
What's your reaction to him?
Very conscious.
Funny.
I didn't like this pitch.
No.
It's all about him.
Yeah, so that pitch was all about him, and this will be the interesting thing, but let me hear some other opinions about what you guys think about him. Anybody? Arrogant? Huh? That's right. Anybody else? Did you like him? Who liked him?
Yeah, I heard.
It's always interesting, it's so cool, I love this video, because it's like, boom, half the group hates him.
I think, yeah,
He was entertaining.
You did, yeah.
He kept their interest.
Kept your interest?
exactly.
Right.
Competition.
So I just told you it's all about me, the audience, and this guy spends the entire time talking about himself. Right? Huh?
Bought a card.
Yeah, about our card. The pop-up part is my favorite. It's my favorite thing when that thing pops up. It's like, oh, dude, really? I mean, can you imagine handing that to somebody? Okay, take it, don't open it yet. Get out of here. Anyway,
He talks about like getting results and stuff, so it made me wanna find out what were the results.
right, right. So this guy sells information products. He doesn't care about you, or unless you want to be like him, right? All he's going for in his target market are people that want to act just like him. That's all he cares about. He wants them to pony up $1,000 for his video course, right? So he knows his audience, he knows what they like, and he knows they want to be that, right? So that's what he represents. That's how he does it. Now, would I talk that way? No, that's not how I do things. But there is a segment of the population that will spend millions of dollars